Virgo, welcome to your monthly horoscope for March 2025. My name is Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in these monthly horoscopes, I go over all of the major energies you will be navigating for the month ahead. And we have quite a lot to go over because we are entering eclipse season. And not only are we entering eclipse season, but this month we have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. So it is quite an eventful month. And this is actually the month of 2025 all astrologers have been talking about. We are here. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. Now, let's get right into it. So let's start by going over the significant transits for March. So on the 1st, we have Venus stationing retrograde. On the 3rd, we have Mercury entering Aries. And Mercury and Venus are going to retrograde over the same degree points, pretty much, not exactly, but pretty much. So Mercury and Venus are retrograding over the exact same part of our chart. So, this area of our chart is going through major reevaluation and reassessment, over the next month. On the 14th, we have our full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees, your lunar eclipse. On the 15th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Aries. On the 20th, we have the Sun entering Aries. On the 22nd, we have our Venus Cazimi. On the 24th, we have our Mercury Cazimi. And on the 27th, we have Venus re entering Pisces because Venus is going to retrograde back into Pisces. Now on March 29th, we have our new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 9 degrees, closing out the energies, the changes that have been taking place in the Aries Libra axis of our chart. So there's going to be this one last kind of hurrah, this energy coming in. And change coming in, kind of completing this 2 year journey we've all been in when it comes to the Aries Libra axis in our chart and the themes, topics, and areas of life that are associated with those houses. Now, also on the 29th, we have Mercury re-entering Pisces because Mercury is going to retrograde back into Pisces. And then on March 30th, we have Neptune entering Aries, which is a huge energy shift. Now, I will be posting a separate forecast, getting much deeper into the Neptune and Aries energies. But Neptune is going to be in Aries from March 30th to October 22nd, giving us a little taste of what this Neptune and Aries energy is going to bring. Now, for those of you who have not watched my monthly horoscopes before, I do break the monthly horoscopes down by week and I select a chart for each week to give you a bit of a visual. So, coming right into the month, week 1, on the 1st, we have Venus stationing retrograde in Aries at 10 degrees. And you have Aries in your 8th house of your partner's finances, money coming in from outside resources, taxes, inheritance, psychological healing and transformation. Um, Also, intimacy is in that 8th house. So, there's going to be a lot in this area of life you will be reassessing, reevaluating, and changing over the next possibly like month and a half, really. And think back to the entire month of February. Venus was pre-shadow. So, what was showing up for you? Any significant energies, themes, topics, events, people? This can give you an idea of what you will be addressing with this Venus retrograde. Now, on March 3rd, we have Mercury entering Aries. So, Mercury will be entering Aries, bringing more focus to that 8th house. Um, and also keep in mind that yes, Mercury is your chart ruler, but Mercury is also the dispositor of this south node. And I believe the entire month of March, there's going to be a lot presented, giving us an idea of the changes taking place in these areas of life. And you are going through massive changes when it has to do with you and your partnerships, your one-on-one connections, your relationships, how you connect within your relationships, what you need and what you're willing to give. Um, you know, though that's all going to change over the next 18 months to 2 years. Now, once we get to week 2 on the 14th, we have our full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees. So this is really initiating us into this whole Virgo energy, and the South Node represents where we're moving away from something, we're letting something go, or it can be something coming back from the past. This is where you're going to get a really good idea of how that's showing up for you this entire month. A journal, because there can be a lot of conversations and a lot of information showing up that may not seem significant in the moment, but later on down the road, or a few months from now, or maybe even a year from now, it'll all make sense. So anything that kind of sticks out, just write it down. Now, with this full moon lunar eclipse, this is, I mean, if you have your ascendant around that 23 degrees, you're definitely going to feel this, personally, but all Virgo risings are going to feel this personally. This is in your first house of you, the self, your appearance, your physical body, your character, your personality, your perception on this physical reality in the world. And the first house also represents the mask that you wear. To, new people, new individuals that you meet. It's your image that you portray to the world before you truly get to know them, if that makes sense. This is all going through changes. So there can be something showing up at this time, bringing new energy in, to kind of initiate that change, to let you know what you're letting go in this area. What parts of you, what aspects of you are you maybe no longer in alignment with? Now, on the 15th, we will have Mercury station retrograde in Aries at 9 degrees, which is in your eighth house, again, of your partner's finances, shared resources, taxes, inheritance, also psychological healing and transformation, intimacy. So there's a lot, here that we will be reassessing and reevaluating, and it could have to do a lot with finances. Now, on March 11th, Venus and Mercury, Venus retrograde and Mercury are going to form a conjunction. Now, I get into that in my Venus retrograde forecast. You can check that out. I'm going to link it in this video, where I get into the charts, um, you know, through the Venus retrograde cycle, all the significant energies and charts and all 12 rising signs. So make sure you check that out if you want to know more about the Venus retrograde. But on March 11th, Venus and Mercury are going to form a conjunction. And this is where we can have some type of important conversation with someone, or receive some type of information that ends up kind of shifting our direction in some way. It's one of those days where I said, something is sticking out, write it down, journal. Now, once we get to the third week of March, on the 20th, we have the sun entering Aries. And actually, I also just want to note that on March 17th, we will have the sun forming a conjunction to the North Node at 27 degrees. And I didn't put it in this horoscope. However, after I already created the presentation, I realized that the North Node has been at this 27 degree since February 8th and is going to be there until April 17th. So this degree point with the North Node, which is really bringing in this new journey and new direction in this area of life, has been, activated over and over and over again. And so when the sun forms a conjunction to that North Node at 27 degrees, which is where Neptune formed a conjunction to the North Node, Venus formed a conjunction to the North Node, there can be, and Mercury formed a conjunction to the North Node, all at 27 degrees. So the nodes primarily work with the sun and the moon. Yes, they do interact with the other planets, but the sun and the moon have the most power over the lunar nodes. And so when the sun forms a conjunction to the North Node at 27 degrees, there can be some really beautiful support, insights, clarity, better understanding, or a final just knowing of this new direction that you absolutely have to move in, or even what this new direction looks like, because we're right at the beginning of this transit. So, we don't really know how this energy is showing up for us just yet, but I believe this month we definitely will we will definitely have an idea of how these nodes are changing our lives by the end of March. That's for sure. Now, on the 20th, the sun will enter Aries, and on the 22nd, we will have our Venus Cazimi at 2 degrees of Aries. Again, this is a day where you want to pay attention to conversations, information coming in. It can have to do with finances. It can have to do with your self-worth, self-love, confidence, kind of whatever you're navigating with this Venus retrograde energy. When the Sun and Venus form a conjunction and we have the Venus Cazimi, there can be some insight, clarity, or understanding. Now, once we get to the fourth week of March, on the 24th, we will have our Mercury Cazimi at 4 degrees of Aries. And so this is where you can have a really important conversation or receive important information. Um, there's something coming in around those mercurial themes and topics, whether it's a conversation or, hearing something, seeing something, receiving some type of information or news. You want to pay attention on this day to what is showing up because it can help guide you through all of this energy that we're currently navigating with the eclipses and with the retrogrades. There's something, significant coming in to help bring clarity, insight, or a better understanding. Now, on the 27th, Venus is going to re enter Pisces. So, Venus will retrograde back into Pisces and form a conjunction to the North Node again. So, this 27th degree is just really active. And if you have your ascendant and descendant around 27 degrees, you're really feeling this. Actually, if you do, I would love to hear in the comments below how this has been affecting you. On the 29th, we have our new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 9 degrees. And so this is closing out the saga that we've been in with this Aries Libra axis of our chart, which for you, Virgo, is your money houses. So there's been a lot of changes around your money and finances, material possessions, your partner's finances, investments, debts, psychological healing and transformation, also possibly too your personal values. There's this final eclipse where there's like almost like a final event taking place to close this cycle out for good and move on. So that's on the 29th of March, right at the end of March. And it will carry into April because eclipses are, the surrounding weeks. I honestly think it's like 3 to 4 weeks. I can feel it 3 weeks away from an eclipse. But also on the 29th, we have Mercury re-entering Pisces. And then on the 30th, we have Neptune entering Aries. So this is going to be a really big shift. Neptune entering Aries. Now I will be posting a separate forecast, getting really deep into that energy. Um, but this is where we can start to get a feel for what this Neptune and Aries energy can bring between, March 30th and October 22nd. But this is going to be a 14-year transit. So it's not like we're going to see everything that's going to take place with this Neptune and Aries energy or, Neptune transiting this area of life. But what this can do is give you an idea of, it's almost like a subtle feel for what Neptune can bring in this area of life. So, Virgo, I hope this helps you navigate the energy for March. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content, and I will connect with you in the next one.